Hello students. So now today we will continue lesson 6 computer networking. So in the last class we have discussed about the social networking websites, social networking applications, about the Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Reddit website, Twitter, all these things. So now today we will study about the data and information. So this what is data? Data refers to a collection of numbers, characters, symbols, images, etc., which can be processed by a computer. So, data may be a number also. Numbers you can say maybe your mobile number, maybe your the pin code of your city, uh, pin code of your nearest post office, or characters, symbols. Any symbols can be a data. Symbols also you can take as logo of any organization, like logo of a school, logo of university. That is the symbols. Images, any images, maybe the images of the products, maybe images of the things, maybe the images of the persons. Okay, so like this, all the collections of numbers, characters, symbols, images, and all these things are processed by a computer for analyzing some result. So that is called the data analysis. So after analyzing some conclusion is deducted from the data, and which is done by the computer. This is called the processing. So the computer processed all these informations, all these data, all these numbers, characters, and gives a meaningful information. Okay, so that is the processed data is called information, and it relates to the facts, events, and transactions. So after doing the analysis, it relates to some facts. It derives some conclusions, and this data carries no meaning in its raw form. Means if the unprocessed data is called the raw data. If the data is unprocessed, it has its no meaning. Suppose if you purchase a telephone directory, in that directory you will find the millions of telephone numbers. But all that millions of telephone numbers is of no use for you, because you are only interested in the numbers of your relatives or friends to whom you are frequently calling, or you can say sometimes when you need to call some persons, so only those numbers you are interested. But that telephone directory contains millions of mobile numbers, so you can say that telephone directory is of no use for you. So why you'll go to purchase a telephone directory? So if you want to save your near and dear one's number, so only in your own telephone diary or in some notebook you can note down your near dear one's number. So now it must be processed and interpreted to extract meaningful information. With that, I have discussed earlier that computer process this raw data to extract some information, which is the meaningful information. That's why the process data is called the information. Next is the understanding data, information, and knowledge. What is the understanding data and information and knowledge? So the main difference lies in the level of abstraction. So abstraction means to hide the details, essential details. It's called abstraction. Uh, like you can take the example of the mobile. You are only just using the mobile, and all the functionalities you are only using. But the details of functionalities, how mobile is working, means you are not worrying about the hardware of the mobile. Just only you are using the services offered by the mobile. Like in the mobile, you can use the camera in the mobile, you can record your voice. With the help of the mobile you can take the snapshot. All these are the services which is offered by the any smartphone. Now if you have a phone, suppose you have a keypad phone and their camera is not there, so now you are not able to take the services of the camera, you cannot take the snapshot. So that is the thing. Means abstraction gives you to the details of the services, but it hides the all the details of the services. So service details you will not get. Only you will get the list of the services offered by any device. You can say any program. That is the abstraction, means hiding the information details. So while data is the lowest level of abstraction, so data is the lowest level of abstraction. Information is the next level, And knowledge is the highest level of abstraction among all the three. Yes, data is the lowest level of abstraction. So data, you if you wants to hide the data, means in a database we are, suppose any server we are sending the request, but for a particular website's homepage, but that server contains some millions of websites, million of web pages, and you can say million of websites also. So you are not interested in all the data which contains the server. Only you are interested the data which you data of your data of the requested homepage of the website. So this data is the lowest level of abstraction. Information is the next level abstraction. Now if you want to uh, find out some information in the data of the server, data of the database, in that some information you only needs, that is the second level abstraction. Now you are not worrying about the details about the programmings of the Google or any web browser or any search engine. So how the search engine is sending this request, how the search engine is finding that information from the database, we are not going to worry about that. We are not interested to know also. Only just we wants to use the services of the Google. That if you are typing some name of the information what you want, so you expect only the results of that. So means we are only just using the services of the software. So that is the second abstraction. And knowledge is the highest level of abstraction among all the three. So knowledge, suppose a person is a knowledgeable, and if you ask a person any question and he has given you the answer, so how he has given the answer, how much he is knowing, that is the abstraction. Just only you are interested, if you ask the question he has given the answer, you are only interested in that thing, but you are not knowing that how much knowledge he has. uh, Next is the data is unstructured and carries no meaning. Data must be interpreted and processed in order to make information. So unstructured data has no meaning. Yes, if anywhere, suppose in the dustbin so many papers you are throwing, that is of no use. But maybe that piece of data which you are throwing useful for the third person. How you can say that data is useful? Suppose what you have purchased, that bill you have thrown, but that bill, if suppose that million types of that million numbers of bills is collected and given to the any organization, means any data information center, they will analyze the data and they will find out the information, like how many persons from which city are interested to buying a certain products. So that is the information they can take out. So that information may be useful for some industry to sell their goods in the particular city. For example, the height of Mount Everest is generally now the height of Mount Everest is generally considered as data. Now, a book on Mount Everest which contains the geological characteristics may be considered as the information. So height of the mountain is the data. Now book on the Mount Everest, which gives you the information about the geological characteristics, about its location, about its size, and about its constituents, and about its all flora and fauna which is available on the Mount Everest. All are considered as information, and a report containing the practical information such as the best way to reach the Mount Everest peak, that is the report. How one can reach the Mount Everest peak may be considered as knowledge, that is the report. So after going through all the data and information, a person acquires some knowledge. So that's why the computer process the raw data and convert into the information, and after information they derive some knowledge with the help of the programs. So what is the difference between data and information? See, data are facts and statics used for reference or analysis. So data is the facts and statics. So statics means you can say if you wants to count the number of persons in your city having car. So that is the statics. In your city, how many persons have the car? How many persons have the motorbike? How many persons have the cycle? So all these are the statics. Second thing, data is numbers, characters, symbols, images, which can be processed by a computer. Third, data is also a representation of information. Yes, so all the information is presented with the help of data. Without data, how you can present the information? That is also not possible. If you want to write the report, so you need some characters or symbols, you need some numbers, you need some images. Next is the interpreted by a human. Data is interpreted by a human or machine. Yes, data can be interpreted by the human also, and data can be interpreted by the machine also. That is the computer to derive its meaning. So that is artificial intelligence used in the computer to interpret the data. For example, like marks such as 67, 88, 90 and 77 are considered as data. And what is the information? Information is knowledge derived from study. So after studying all the data, what a knowledge you acquired, that is information. Information is knowledge derived from the experience by the senses or instructions. So suppose if you are working in a particular organization, so after working of 5 or 7 years or 10 years, you will acquire some knowledge with the help of the experience only. Next, information is the communication of intelligence. Yes, so if you are communicating in the group, suppose wherever you are working in that industry, so many your colleagues are there, and if you are having a communication of with the colleagues about your work, so you are acquiring some knowledge. Maybe you are instructing to your juniors, maybe you are receiving instructions from your seniors. So in both the cases, either you are imparting the information, either you are giving the imparting the knowledge, or either you are accepting the knowledge or receiving the knowledge. Next, the interpretation of facts, concepts, etc. in some context that is exchangeable amongst people. So the information is the interpretation of the facts. Yes, analysis of the facts, analysis of the concepts. Now, in some context, that information is exchangeable amongst people. So, after suppose having a discussion, after some doing analysis, you can deduce a conclusion, and that conclusion you can share among all the people. Like after experiencing during this pandemic COVID, all have experiences of, you can say not all, but you can say the experts has uh, experiences that this COVID-19 can be prevented by with the help of the social distancing, by applying social distancing in our behavior. So if you make a distance with your friends or with the other persons, so maybe you can protect yourself from this uh, virus. So similarly here also, so with the help of the interpretation of the facts and the concepts, we deduce some information, we deduce some knowledge, so and that knowledge we share among the other persons. Next is the meaningful output, which we get after processing the data. That is the output, something what result you got. So after processing the data, we get some meaningful result. For example, if we relate the marks with a boy whose name is Rohit, a student of class 9, who has scored 67 in English and 88 in maths and 90 in physics and 77 in chemistry, then it becomes information. So you are comparing the marks. You are relating the marks with a boy whose name is Rohit, and you are giving the information he scored 67 in English and 88 in maths. Now this becomes the information. Okay, so now this is all for the today students. So in the next class we'll discuss about the topic multimedia and multimedia formats. So this is all for the today students. Thank you for your kind attention.